And welcome to Mary Walter Radio, the live cast. How is everybody? I'm glad to see everyone. So crazy day today. And so it's going to be a little bit of a different live cast tonight. I've got Oliver here. He's feeling very needy and he's hungry. And so yeah, you're gonna help keep me company? Yeah. Okay. All right. As long as I rub his ears, all is right with the world. So, welcome. It's good to see everybody. Oh, I forgot my calendar. So, all right. So where am I? Let's do that first. Thursday and Friday. So Thursday, I'm in for Todd Starnes on his radio show from noon to 3. And then I'm in for Stacy Washington, 9 p.m. to midnight. And then Friday, I'm in for Stacy, 9 p.m. to midnight. I think that's it. Although Newsmax has been super busy, which is great. I'm so blessed. I'm not complaining. I'm happy. And I don't know if I have any TV for them, so we'll see. I'm doing my face lasering, so I probably won't be able to do anything after tomorrow anyway, because I'm gonna look like I got in a fight with a rabid porcupine. And I don't think you could put who's in my driveway? Hmm. All right. I don't think you can put makeup on for like 5 days or something like that. So I probably won't be doing any TV after tomorrow. So if there's anything, it'll be tomorrow. And then the next thing will be Tuesday, next Tuesday. Case Smith Hill and I will be on with Todd Starnes. We're on every day between 5 and 6 on Newsmax 2. So if your carrier doesn't carry Newsmax 2, you can go to YouTube and just look for Newsmax 2 live, and you can watch it there on YouTube. Yep. So I hope everybody had a great week. Please, thank you for everyone who is following. Appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. But again, seriously, like there'll be 16 people watching at one time, number, and 2 thumbs up. What does it take? Oh, I think the IT department's home because somebody just came in my house. So if it's not the IT department and there's like a forensic files on me, you can remember this moment, okay? I think it's the IT department. Anyway, so all right. So Christine Flowers is going to be on with us. Oh, thank you also to EB and Zach, of course, Zach, my buddy Zach. Oh, it says Mary Walter. I have to change that back to the Queen. Sorry, Zachy, I'll change that. Can I do that right now? Oh no. All right, got it. I just want to no, that's not it. Okay, that's not it at all. And how do I change that? Cancel. Okay, that's not what I wanted. I just want to change my name, but I'll change it for Zachy for the next one. All right. So as you know, Christine Flowers is going to be on. A lot of you are asking me who's going to be on, and it was supposed to be Christine Flowers. We know and love her. You love her. But unfortunately, she is a lawyer. She's an immigration lawyer, and she lives in Philly and often has to travel to Newark for court. And she texted me yesterday and she said, I'm going to be there like around 7:30. Is that okay? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. 7:30 is great. And then I got the text today. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make it. So she couldn't, I don't think she can make it. And so that's that. So all right, I've got some things I want to talk about, including my hair's getting cut. Like my hair is a disaster. It's getting cut again. So a couple of things I want to talk about, but I want to give you guys a chance to program the show. All right. So this is your opportunity to bring topics that you think would be interesting to the table, and we'll try to go through them. All right. I know I have some in case you don't, but I would have some. And also Rebecca. I know Rebecca's here. Rebecca made me the beautiful knitted socky socks that look like they're like slipper shoes and knitted slippers. And they look like Converse sneakers, which is amazing. It's just insane. So I'm actually hanging them in my upstairs studio so that when I do TV, when I do radio that has a TV component to it or a video component to it, they'll be hanging right there. So that's what I decided to do with them as an homage to an insanely wonderful audience. And Rebecca for doing that for me. I really, truly appreciate it. So let's see who's here, shall we? All right. Hermit's here. Watching Your Back is here. Steve is here. Steve Serrano. Hey, Steve. Steve's been in and out, so I'm glad to see you back. Joe's back. Thank you, Joe. Is this the side-by-side version? Yeah, well, it was for a hot second before. Okay. That was, I was trying to change my name and that popped up. So I hit the edit button, that came up, so I don't know why. Everybody's saying hello to each other. Kate is here from Ireland. Hello, Kate. Oh, that was my shoulder popping in and out. Oof. Rebecca, yay, Rebecca, he is here. Olive, oh, Herman says hello to Oliver. He's settled down on my lap right now, so he'll be good until something happens. Art is here. Let's see. Wild Bill says, hey, Queen Mary, what are your thoughts on the Iran war? Do you think it will be a short war or a long one? I pray for a short war. Great question to start off with. So most shows are starting off with Iran, right? So what do you guys think? What do you guys think in relation to, in answer to Bill's question? Of course, I pray for a short one. I hope it's short. I think it's got to be over by the summer so that people have the summer to forget, so that when the midterms roll around, Trump's in a really good place. Republicans are in a good place. They're in a good spot. But here, I want to add this in there too. So I was looking at this and my husband asked me an interesting question. I saw that President Trump said that Iran gave us a very big present yesterday. I'm not going to tell you what it was. And he also said Iran did something yesterday that was amazing. Friendly ships may transit Hormuz. An American was freed by the Taliban. Did you see that? There was an American freed by the Taliban. Let me see if I can bring this up or if I'm going to get dinged for something. Okay, I think I can bring this up. Let me bring this up without getting in trouble here. Share screen. There we go. Okay, so did you see this? This is Dennis Coyle on his way home. We remain committed to freeing all Americans wrongly detained abroad. Today, the Taliban took an important step in the right direction. Now they must release all remaining Americans immediately, including Mahmoud Habibi and Paul Overby. So interesting that the Taliban decided to release someone. I thought that was interesting. So do you think, to Bill's question, will it be a short war or a long one? So all these comments that Trump's making. So my husband said to me, he goes, what if Trump isn't talking to Iran at all? He goes, what if Trump is just saying that? Because nobody knows who's in charge, right? We don't know who's in charge. He did say that we don't know if the supreme leader is alive or dead. So by saying that, he's totally messing with them, doing a total mind F. Because now they're all looking at each other going, he's not talking to me. Who's he talking to? Like the guys who are left, who's he talking to? Because they're not talking to each other because they're all in different places. They're all in hiding. Got cat hair up my nose again. But he said, so they're all, this is what my husband said, so they're all in hiding. So maybe it's, everybody now, there's all this mistrust because nobody knows who's talking to Trump and what are they saying? And are they cutting a deal for themselves and selling them out? Think about it. That would be the ultimate. So let's see. All right. What happened to the previous chats? I don't know what that means. Patrick is here. Squeaky's here. Looks like most of the crew clicked on the wrong YouTube feed. What YouTube feed? Is there more than one YouTube feed? There's two. We're going Guestless. We're going Guestless. They're both there. There's one sideways and one side by side. I mean, one up and down and one side by side. That's all I see. Dottie is here. Hello, Mary and everyone from 1210 WPHT. Yes. And Dottie, I'm so sorry about the loss of your brother. I'm so sorry. I didn't know about that. And every now and then when I'm on 1210, I get to read the YouTube chat, but it's really super hard to do because it goes so fast. And I do like to pay attention to what the callers and the guests are saying, as opposed to reading the YouTube chat, because I can get very lost in that. So that's why the podcast, the live cast, it's part of it. Like you guys in your comments are part of the show. So it's a little bit different, but I'm really sorry for your loss. So yeah, he apparently passed away like 2 weeks ago. So sorry about that. Yeah. What's the other chat? I don't know. On Rumble. Oh, on Rumble. You guys are over on Rumble. Yes. Thank you to everybody who's rumbling. Yay. You guys are awesome. The queen is late. ITG must be getting some sweet loving. He wasn't even home. Thank you. Let's see. Here's another topic. I told my wife to get me some tampons for my bathroom just in case. And I think that harkens to a comment made on the Todd Starnes show with Kay this afternoon. on N2, and there is a lawmaker who is putting putting tampons in men's bathrooms. And a Republican lawmaker stood up and she goes, sir, may I ask what size of tampons are you putting in the men's bathrooms? There are 4 sizes. Which one are you putting in? And he was like, well, I guess the average one. It was awesome. It was fantastic. I was hoping she would ask him, where exactly do men put tampons when they use them? Like, explain the biology to me, sir. That's what I was hoping for, but I didn't get that. But I thought we were over this whole tampon in the men's bathroom thing. Like, I thought that was done. Apparently not. We're still with that dumb thing. Don't ever say sake. Okay. Oh, Oliver's off. Let's see. All right. Let me see if you have any responses here. Here's another question from Rebecca. What do you think about all these radical Islamists trying to take over our country and the amount of mosques in our country? I have to say it grew like boom, like, right? Like it just went, I had no idea. And I don't have a problem with Muslims. I have a problem with Islamists. And I live in a state where there are Indian Buddhist temples everywhere, and they're huge. I think isn't the largest Buddhist temple outside of India? Largest Buddhist temple in the world. Where is that? Nope, that's Central Java. Let's see. Buddhist temple, New Jersey. Isn't there like a the 10 best Buddhist temples in one town alone? They built this huge temple. There's one built on 188 acres in Sussex County, which is absolutely beautiful. Here's another one in central New Jersey, the largest Hindu population in the country. Only California has, so maybe it's the largest Hindu temple. It's these things, this thing's like huge. Hindu temple, New Jersey. Berlin, New Jersey. Shri, I can't even say it. I can't even say it. It is. It's a large Hindu temple complex, the largest in the Western Hemisphere, second largest in the world. It's Baps Shri Swaminarayan Mandir. I don't know what it is. But I don't have a problem again with Muslims. It's the radical Islamists I have a problem with. And I think a lot of times they hide behind this whole, moderate Muslim thing. It's kind of like Democrats. They hide behind being moderates, and then you find out that they're really not. I have a problem with them. They don't pray in public in Muslim countries. They only do it in Western countries as a show of force. Like, look what we're doing. We can do this. And I don't have a problem with people displaying their religion. That's fine. You go for it, but you have the permit and you do it properly. You don't just walk into the middle of Times Square and throw your prayer rug down. I had a problem with the Muslim prayer rugs being on a display on the 9/11 museum and down in New York City. And Mamdani was there. They were celebrating some holiday. But to me, that was super disrespectful. That to me was a big middle finger, me personally. Maybe it wasn't meant to be that way, but to me, that's how it came across. Beck is here from Australia. Cindy is here. Listening, but no chat for Dottie. Okay, Steve. So Steve said he was listening about the whole Iran thing and that it would create major tensions inside if Trump really isn't talking to someone and there really wasn't a deal or an offer made, but they don't all know that because they think he's talking to someone or he's saying he's talking to someone. He's been saying this for a couple of days now, and he's really not. Like, think about how much that would mess them up, right? Can we nominate Rashida Tlaib or Ilhan Omar for Ayatollah? Sure, Todd. Herman says, I fear that the drive-by media will push fake news to mislead us on how far the war is going. I think they want Iran to win if it means Trump getting defeated. I think you're right. Like, do you agree with that? I think that the left would be happy if Americans are killed because it's worth it to them just so they can win the midterms and stop everything Trump is doing. I really do. I hate to say that. Joseph is also with PHT. My most loyal subject, Art. Suze is here. Oh, and Dottie said it was her sister. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize it was your sister, not your brother. Apologies. They're messing with you, Mary. Okay. I sure hope Casey doesn't suck. I love Casey. Casey will be on 1210 WPHT tomorrow. Casey Bartholomew. I love him. He's good people. Most comments were in the up down when I checked in. I'm on side by side. It was hilarious to see IT on the 1210 WPHT the other afternoon. Yes, he made an appearance. Joseph, regarding tampons in men's bathrooms, says for years men thought tampons were sweatbands for the forehead in high school. So no joke, they have, they'll use tampons for nosebleeds. And I know that was in a movie. Case Smith referenced that today on Todd Starn show. But they are used for that. They can be used for that, and they actually work really quite well. And then, of course, a lot of times they use sanitary pads in first aid kits because they will staunch heavy bleeding. You just put them on there and they absorb. So they're perfect for that. So who knew? That's not a good reason to have them in the men's room, though. I don't think a whole lot of men get nosebleeds this to the point where you need free tampons for them in the men's room. And if you are, you've got a problem. D-Man here from PHT. Thank you. The forehead. Yes. Maybe we could use tampons to clean our ears. No, that would really not be great. Yeah. Ranger knows. Ranger's a vet. Sanitary napkins are great for open wound blood control. Yep. Yes, it is in Robbinsville, Joseph. We have several in and around Bucks County. They don't need the call to prayer blasted in the neighborhood 5 times a day. Okay. So let's talk about that. So I think about that and I'm like, well, we're one of the places I sometimes go to church, 2 of the churches I sometimes go to, have bells and they ring them on the hour, but not at 5 a.m. They're not rung at 5 a.m. and they're bells. Now people can find that annoying and you could petition and ask them not to do it, but they have that. It sounds like an animal being slaughtered. I'm sorry, but when I heard it a lot in Jerusalem, and apparently it's not. They put it on speakers in Jerusalem to like just totally dominate the entire old city with that sound, so you can't escape it anywhere in the old city, which regardless of the quarter you're in or the portion you're in. To me, that's a dominance thing, and I think bells are more socially acceptable in our society as opposed to that, which is really loud and jarring. You could disagree with me, and that's fine. But then we say, fine, nothing, no bells, and none of that either. But it's at 5, it starts at 5 a.m. That's not right. That's not right. We have noise ordinances, and it should apply equally, regardless if it's for religious purposes or not. Everyone else, your religious purpose doesn't get to usurp everyone else's rights. So I think there has to be a line drawn. And we can't say, oh, well, anything then for religion, because then Catholics can go and Christians go, all right, then we're just ringing the damn bells all night long. You can't have that. So I think that's a really good point. You don't need the call to prayer blasted in neighborhoods 5 times a day. And Ron here's Ron now. Any thoughts on the prayer rugs on the FDNY Memorial? I think it was disgusting. I really do. Hermit Sal says, Mamdani has turned New York City into a radical Islamist version of the Twilight Zone. I call it the Mamdani Zone. Gregory, when I lived in Chicago, the view out my windows included the Baha'i House of Worship in Wilmette. I will say, though, some of those Buddhist temples are beautiful. They really are. I mean, they're amazing. They're not, to me, an eyesore. I think they're amazing. And I'm not saying that Muslim temples are an eyesore. I'm just saying that I see more Buddhist temples here than I do Muslim temples. So I do think they're beautiful. And I would actually prefer it as opposed to like some modern structure, if you will. I love beautiful old architecture, and some of those are beautiful. I wonder if this deal would include how they treat their people going back to Iran. I don't know. I would assume so because President Trump, I really do believe, wants to stop the killing. I really think that that upsets him. I could be wrong, but it seems to be something that he says all the time. They're slaughtering their own people. These people are getting killed. Russia, Ukraine. He kept saying this is just senseless. You're just killing each other. What is the point? How many people have to die before you stop? So maybe there would be a deal on treatment of their people. I don't know how enforceable that is without boots on the ground. And I don't think we want to get involved in boots on the ground. Star Driver, also a vet, says soldiers carry tampons in case they're shot to put in the wound to help stop the bleeding. See, there you go. Would you have an issue with a Christian doing a prayer in Times Square? I would if they don't get the proper permits and they don't follow the law. Right? So I would have a problem with anyone for any cause just deciding that we're going to parade in the streets or we're going to stop in the middle of it and we're going to, block traffic to pray. I don't care what religion it is. If you follow the law and you get the permits and you have the right time that you're going to do it, the whole bit, then go for it. I don't care. I don't care whether you're Muslim or Hindu or Jewish or Catholic, whatever, if you are following the law. But if we shouldn't have carve outs for certain religions who just decide to go in the middle of the street and block traffic and pray because that's what they want to do. Can't be carve outs. You can't have some more equal than others. So, yeah. Islam is an ideology, not a religion. The sooner we'll get that, the better. That's Ranger Sewer. Until every other religion does this stuff in front of their mosques, this will not stop. They were doing it in front of St. Patrick's to try to block the entrance to St. Patrick's. And I'm like, dude, now it's out of control. That to me is out of control. Because they know the Catholics aren't going to return the favor. And I think we have to be very careful and we need to enforce the laws and they need to be enforced equally. Islamists don't care who they offend, but don't dare offend them. Yeah, it does seem to go one way. Mango Mush, my problem with Muslims marry the good ones will not condemn the radical Islamist brothers. Some do. And, that's interesting, Mango. That we heard that a lot after 9/11. Remember, like, where's the condemnation? And whenever there's some kind of military action, where's the condemnation from their fellow Muslims? It's kind of like, why don't any of them take in the poor Palestinians? Oh, they're all Muslims. Why don't you take any of them in? Why do Western countries have to take in the Muslim refugee, Pakistan? Darn, I want to say Pakistan, the Palestinian refugees. Why do Western countries have to take those people? Why is the most secure border in the world the border between Egypt and Gaza? So I agree. You know what? They want to live in a Muslim society, a lot of them. They want Sharia law. They want all those things because they're extremists. Then those countries should take them in my humble opinion. Here, Muslims I smoke. Muslims are Islamic and they call for the death of infidels, non-believers. Arabs are one thing, Muslims are another, 100%. And I'm not talking about mainstream Muslims, I'm talking more Islamists. And I think we need to have that definition, that differentiation. But the more moderate Muslims need to call out the extremist Islamists, right? That's what I think. Ma'am, Donnie placed those rugs on the 9/11 site as a sign of a type of conquest. There's a lot of people who saw it that way. Base says Trump literally started this war. I'm going to go with the war started 47 years ago. That's what I'm going to go with. Iran is funding all these terrorist groups, Hezbollah, Hamas, that are attacking Americans all around the world. So, here's our Palestine, but you don't know how to spell it. He wants Palestine freed. Sure, show me Palestine on a map and we'll talk about it. The Star Driver says the drive-by media needs to be banned from the Pentagon and every military base. Did you see there was zero evidence of them being a threat to us from the guy who got fired, who is now allegedly or was even at the time under investigation for leaking and had been banned from security briefings. That guy? Yeah, I saw that. Doesn't he changed his spelling, Free Palestine. You support child bombing. No, I don't think we should use children as bombs at all. I really don't. Gregory, they already are. They push their narrative every chance they get. Timothy says, I would not have an issue. I do take issue with this Islamic invasion of our homeland. Go back to your own lands and take your flippin' Sharia law with you. I'm a little bit more moderate on that. I agree. No Sharia law. Hell to the no on that. If that's what you want, bye-bye. And if you want to live in a country that is Islamist, then go do that. But if I can't practice my religion in your country, you really can't complain about the way we allow you to publicly practice yours in this country, in my humble opinion. Never trust a salesperson from the Tampax Corporation. The deals always have strings attached. All right. So you want Muslims to not exist because they annoy you. Yeah, that's what I said. All right, I'm not reading your comments anymore because you're just being stupid now. How about we play Yoko Ono on the hour in front of mosques? Cindy says, I would think if it's their religion and they're faithful, they don't need to call a call to respond/remind. They should already be ready. It's a good point. I don't know if the call to prayer is even prayed in all countries, like foreign Muslim countries. Is the call to prayer allowed in Wow, in the UAE, no outdoor prayers allowed. Official prayer timing and mosque guidelines announced. The United Arab Emirates has officially announced that Eid prayers this year will be held exclusively inside mosques with a nationwide suspension of all traditional outdoor prayer grounds. The decision to ensure public safety and streamlined organization. Let's see. And they have their prayer times. So they have it no call to prayer. Well, their prayer times. UAE bans call to prayer. I don't want to do that. You don't need to watch me use my DuckDuckGo, but at least the call to prayer has been banned outside at UAE. That's interesting. And they have designated areas in those countries. They have a special name for them. I was just reading that just now. They have special names for them where you can pray outside, but it's not in the middle of a street. It's not in the middle of Times Square blocking all the traffic. There are certain times and certain places in which you may do that. So get your elected representatives to set hours where these intrusions can take place. And if you have a place in your town where they do that, that's fine. But I think they should allow for everyone if that's what they want to do. Like if the Jews want to go out and have a public prayer outside, well, they can do it too. But you have to go through the process. Everybody should have to go through the process to be able to do that. So a line won't be drawn when it comes to 5 a.m. call to prayer in New York City. Who would challenge Mamdani, not the city council, and most likely not Governor Hochul. It's very true. But you know what? I look at that and I'm like, you get what you vote for. Smokey, my firehouse had to shut down their siren, which called for volunteers because of the noise. We had the same problem here in our little town. They had you'd hear it. And when we moved in, it was still going on, but people do live like right next to it. And we actually looked at the house that's right like half a block from the fire department. And our real estate agent's like, you don't want this house because the fire department's going to be loud when the sound goes off. But they use they have their call, I guess what do they call it? The plectron, whatever it is, that goes off and sends out the signal in their home or wherever they happen to be. They shouldn't be allowed to blast their speakers, which are 10 times louder, but saying that makes me a hater. I think it was in Germany. Islamists blocked the streets to pray, and the German police showed up, and it didn't go well for the Islamists. It shouldn't be. I'm a New York Italian. I can stop all of this. Let's see. 444 days, and the Marines in 83 started this war. Does Joe Kent wear a wig? I don't know. I'm not going to put that on the other. You have a better chance of people accepting a fruitcake than getting people to take in Palestinians. It's weird, right? Like, it's weird that their fellow Muslim countries that surround them won't take them in. Like, why not? Why won't you take your own people in? That's the weirdest thing. The war started in 78. Star Driver found the troll. Yeah, we did. Sue says, "You woot woot, Mary has trolls. Yay." Can we play Hell's Bells AC/DC at 5 a.m.? No, you can't. Um, how come Muslims can't carry beepers? But Mary cuts trolls at immigration services. Survivor says the Chinese took care of the Muslims real quick. Yeah, but I don't think that's necessarily the way we should do it. Maybe we should play Doctor Hook in the medicine. I love Doctor Hook. Am I the only like I love Doctor Hook in the medicine show? Such old time 70s music. Love Doctor Hook. Sylvia's mother. I love it. I don't know why, but I really do like that. All right. It seems there's a movement to declare Islam. It seems there's a movement to declare Islam a movement rather than a religion. Thoughts on what is a religion? Well, I think every religion, there were the Crusades, yeah, has people who want to spread their religion. Look at the Mormons; they got their little door knockers. Anybody ever see Book of Mormon? Right, great play, great musical. They knock on doors. Every now and then we get the Jehovah's Witnesses who come knocking on the door. So they're all movements. If you think about it, every religion is a movement. If you think about it, there's a difference between that and the extremists. Steve brings up a good point here. New topic. What really angers me is Tim Walz will see no jail time, even if they prove he was new. If he prove he was new and was in on the fraud. Very true. Bothers the hell out of me. Does anybody think anyone from the Russia collusion, from the Mueller investigation, that Mueller investigation team, from anything with the intrusion into Trump and what they did to Roger Stone, and I think it was Mike Caputo who went bankrupt, and General Flynn, etc. Any of those people going to go to jail? Any of them? Do you think any of them go to jail? Because I don't. Speaking of which, let's see. Ted Cruz today confirmed that the FBI wiretapped Susie Wiles during a privileged call with her lawyer without the consent of either one of them. So neither one of them knew, neither she nor her lawyer. To make it horrendously worse, they then tried to hide evidence of their actions by marking the file, quote, prohibited. This makes Watergate look like child's play. Accountability is not optional. These people must be held accountable. But here's the thing. They're not. Does anybody believe they're going to be held accountable? Anybody? Because I don't believe they're going to be held accountable. I don't for a hot second believe they will be held accountable. Anybody believe anyone will be held accountable for anything? The cocaine in the White House? Anything? I think Steve's right. Scott said there was a city in the U.S. where Muslims could not have the call to prayer. It was against the noise ordinance. Yeah, I believe that. Fire department alarms are part of America. Well, they were, but we found out other ways to be able to, call them, let them know there's a fire without waking everybody up. Sal says, I did not vote for Mamdani. I may be eccentric, but I ain't stupid. Here's another one. Here's another topic. Art says, any comments on Candace Owens' behavior since Charlie was killed? Her hateful accusations against Erica are one of the most disgusting things I've ever heard. She gets more hateful with each day. I'm going to broaden this out. Hot second. Hold on. Here's my thing. I haven't really paid a lot of attention to Candace Owens since she kind of went sideways. I haven't been giving her a lot of attention and or thought, and I haven't been giving it to Tucker either. I have a bigger question. What do you think happened to Candace and Tucker to make them go, woohoo, so far afield? What happened to them? Who hurt them? Where did they go off? Anybody? What do you think happened? I honestly, like I said, I haven't given Candace any thought, any credence. And same for Tucker. I have no idea what's up with either one of them. Is this like the right's version of the woke mind virus? Every now and then somebody on the right gets infected and this is how they behave. I don't know. If anybody can answer that question for me, feel free to jump in here. Let's see. A plectron. Yes, it's a plectron. I know this because when I was a kid, we lived in a rural area. And if you were a senior and you were on the fire department or the rescue squad, you could go to a fire. But they would have to announce it at the office, and then they would announce that, and then the seniors could leave and could go to the fire or the accident or whatever it was. And my friends in high school were on the fire department and the rescue squad. My husband was in high school, and you had a plectron in the house, and you would get the call. So, yeah, that's how I know. They did carry beepers till they blew up. Let's see. Patrick says, I believe the war was started over blocking the shipping travel in that strait. Well, it goes way back before that. Joseph, if Catholics can rise above the holy wars and the Crusades, why can't Muslims and Islam? Well, their religion's much newer than Catholicism. So that's probably part of it, I guess. Mangle says, all firefighters have a personal radio these days. My brother-in-law is the fire chief in town, and when that radio gives an alert, it is wake the dead loud. Beck in Australia, Rebecca says, we will take them in. Our government loves them as voters. Yeah, for meaning the Gazans. Mormons do not blow people up. Very, very true. But my point is they still try to expand their religion. My hair is just driving me crazy. They still try to expand their religion, just like every religion does. And that was my point. Just like Muslims try to expand their religion. I just think that the Islamist branch does it the wrong way, if that makes sense. Megal, I have the tone out from the show Emergency as my ringtone. Let's see. No one will go to jail unless the Republicans grow or borrow a pair. 100%. Rebecca, Republicans don't have the balls to hold anyone accountable. Sue says, Arctic frost hearings today. It's crazy, but no one would be held to account. And that's what that came from with Ted Cruz, which I would play, but it's C-SPAN. I don't think I can play it on the air. I don't know. And I don't want the whole podcast to get dumped because I played that and then the whole thing is not put out there. So I'm not going to take that chance. But yeah, that's what Ted Cruz was talking about at the Arctic frost hearings. There's so much going on. You don't even know this stuff is happening because there's so much going on at any given second. And if you want to be able to do a load of laundry, you miss like something big. And you're like, oh, can you tell I've been doing laundry lately? It's just like, I'm so excited. That was like my big accomplishment today. I did a load of laundry. It was so great. Gaza residents are the unwanted redheaded stepchild of the rest of the Muslims. Okay, the cocaine in the White House was Kamala. As you know damn well, Hunter wouldn't lose his stash. Star driver. Ranger, nobody will be going to jail except a cancer fighter, aka me, before any Dem does. Wow. Well, you know what? Ranger, I'll add you to my prayers. I didn't realize. So I will put you in there for St. Peregrine. It's a Catholic in me. St. Peregrine, patron saint of cancer patients. So there you go. Let's see. They have to learn just one. The folks that go to Kingdom Hall visited us the other day. Those are the Jehovah Witnesses. I asked them, since they think the end of the world is nigh, why is their house of worship built using bricks? See, when they come to the door here, they're very nice. And the last time they came, it was two young men. And they're very nicely dressed. And they're super nice. So I try not to be a jerk to them. I mean, like, why? If they're being nice to me, why would I want to be a jerk to somebody? That's just not. I used to be that way. Why? So I'm nice to them and I'm like, thank you very much, but we're Catholic and we're super happy with our church. And then I go, okay, the people next door there are Jewish. The next house up, I think, is Jewish. The next house up from is Catholic. The house behind here is Catholic. The house over here is summer only. Those people are summer. So I'm like, you're in the wrong neighborhood. In other words, you're in the wrong neighborhood, but feel free. So I try to, and I offer them water and stuff. I'm nice. Why? And they hand me a pamphlet and I'm like, I go, okay, thank you. And I take the pamphlet and recycle it. And that's that. So I don't know. Sorry about my spelling. It's horrible tonight. Don't worry about it, Steve. Don't worry about it. Um, Scott says they had some pretty good free food at the Muslim Open event at the university one time. Joseph, go after the weakest one, whether it be Brennan or Clapper. I would love to see Adam Schiff in an orange jumpsuit. The big problem is, though, the road resistance makes it super hard to get convictions. And also, it's hard to get these juries to indict anybody, because if they're in DC, they probably voted Democrat and they're not going to convict them. They're not going to indict them. And same thing in these other places. Now, Comey's latest, the newest one, he was subpoenaed in a case out of South Florida. Now, because it's out of South Florida, there's a good chance that maybe something will come of it. But in these super liberal strongholds, they put their hand up and say that they're going to be impartial and they're going to uphold the law, and they do everything but that. They totally politicize it, and they get away with it. So, oh, this is great. I am disgusted. It's Hermit Sal. I am disgusted at the reaction of Chicago Democrats' response to the murder of that 18-year-old girl by that escaped laboratory experiment. Yes, 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 and yes. Let me get her words on this. I had this. Hold on. I don't know if I still have it bookmarked. I had it bookmarked. But this Chicago female politician basically said it was her fault. She was in the wrong place at the wrong time, making an excuse. I'm sorry, but don't you remember, what was it, like the 70s, when they were blaming it was the whole, well, she was wearing, she deserved it because she was wearing, if a woman was raped or attacked, she deserved it because she was wearing revealing clothing. And I remember liberals being super upset about that. I'm old enough to remember liberals being really upset about that. And now liberals are the one who, if the person who raped you was an illegal, they're going to tell you it was your fault because you were wearing something revealing. It's her fault that she was shot in the back of the head by and someone in the country illegally who shouldn't have a gun. So much for those gun laws, people. Shouldn't have a gun, but did, and shot this poor woman, this poor young 18-year-old girl in the back of the head. He has basically assassinated this kid. And for her, thank God, for her sake, it was blessedly quick. She didn't have to suffer, which, he didn't beat her, rape her, that kind of thing. But to say that she was in the wrong place at the wrong time, to me, is so beyond egregious and callous and horrendous to say. And she did it in her car. She didn't even have the grace. Well, there's no grace in this person, but the respect to even do it from like a podium or somewhere, like in her car with her, like, cause she just went through a Starbucks or something. It was, everything about it was so horrendous to me. Horrendous. Thank you for bringing that up, Herman Sal. So if you're just joining us, this is your show. You are the producers. You get to bring the topics to the table. I'll comment them. I'll read your responses. So you get to do it. All right. So that's what we're doing tonight. Also, please subscribe. Please like the channel. I don't even think I have my subscriptions turning on, but I'm doing that. I'm turning all that on. I was told I have to monetize. So I'm going to be monetizing everything. So I'm going to, but that doesn't really affect you guys. But I will turn my subscriptions on because I have to do that. And I may go to IG. We'll see. But please, thumbs up, please like it. I love all you, you know that. And, but just please show me a little love with just the thumbs up would be awesome. Thank you. And I will just, little programming note, Thursday, I'm in for Todd Starnes on his radio show. All right. And so you can look for that, Todd Starnes Radio. I'm in for him noon to 3 Eastern. And then Thursday and Friday, I'm in for Stacey Washington on Sirius Patriot Channel 125 from 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern time. All right. And then, of course, next Tuesday, back with Todd Starnes on Newsmax 2. If it's not on like your system, however you watch, if it's not on there, Newsmax 2, you can find it on YouTube. Just type in Newsmax 2 live, and it'll come up, and you click on it, and you can watch right on YouTube. You can watch the show. So, I mean, I'm on there between 5 and 6 with the wonderful Kay Smith Hill, who will be back on the podcast, but she just had a baby, and So she's all wrapped up in all of that. It's a cute little thing. Oh, she's adorable. So it's going to be a while before Kate comes back on, but maybe we'll get her. We'll get her back. All right. Smokey says, I don't like Erica. To me, she's the new Tammy Faye Baker. That's fine. I don't think you have to like her. That's fine. You don't like her. You don't like her. That's cool. Um, let's see, Greg. I quit listening to Tucker when he jettisoned the bow tie. I mean, I may have said this before. I don't know if you've had. I used to love Tucker. I thought Tucker was great, and then he went whoo. He went to whoo town. Crazy town. I don't know what happened. I don't even know what this is. CH1. I don't even know what that is. Art. Ha ha ha. Local volunteer fire companies and ambulance companies are part of the local community. Yes, and people can say so is a mosque. It's a religious house, a house of worship, part of the community. My town has one house of worship, Catholic Church. That's it. And everybody's part of it's part of the community because our school doesn't have a cafeteria. So when the kids want to do like a pancake breakfast, or the Boy Scouts want to have a spaghetti dinner, or the PTA wants to hold an event, it's held in the church gym because there's a kitchen there and the whole bit. So it's pretty much part of the community. Let's see. Yeah, Sue says hermit, 100% right. Wrong place, wrong time. What the heck is that for a response? Mangle said it was disgusting. Hermit Sal says it's a vote for me response. But who? Who vote for you? Who? The illegals? Which, okay. Yeah. Women are going to vote for that thing because she said, oh, well, she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like, I kind of get when people can say, well, it's so sad it was a wrong place, wrong time. But this is someone who was in the country illegally, in the possession illegally of a handgun, which all of their, gun laws work so well. Ranger Sewer says government doesn't work for the citizens. They work for themselves. Are the green movements a religion? Many seem to act as if they are. That's interesting. So, Ron, I think you may be right. I think for a lot of liberals, and not all right, but many do not have a conventional religion. And I've said this time and time again, and I know you've heard me, so just bear with me. But I think since the beginning of time, man has always felt that there was a creator, whether they worship the sun or they worship the moon or they worship many gods or they worshiped, trees, whatever it happened to be, Mother Nature or whatever it was. And they always had some kind of God over them, right? Since the beginning of time. When you become a religious, you don't believe in God. I think the human nature to still have something greater than yourself above you to help explain things that happen in the world is still there. And so they look for it from their government. So for liberals, that's why I think you see the Green Movement, for instance, the Green Movement. Yeah, I absolutely think that they think it's a religion. They behave as if it's a religion, 100%. I really think they do. They worship the earth, and that's fine. And they display their religion in various ways. Same thing for the people on the left. I think their God is the government. And it has to be the government they want, a government that's all knowing, a government that's going to give them free subways and free bus rides and free housing and cheaper discounted food. And, it's going to meet all their needs, free childcare. That's what they look for. They look to the government for that. So you could even say liberalism as a whole is a religion in that sense. And I think it is, me personally. Smokey said Muhammad they call a prophet, but he never had a prophecy. And to get credit for a miracle, it needs a witness. His miracle was flying on a donkey at night from Jerusalem to Mecca with no witness. Well, I don't know enough about it to be able to comment one way or another. And I don't begrudge people. You can believe what you want. And I've always said this. To my husband, one branch of the family, they're like kind of a religious and very liberal and everything. And one of them was in this whole thing about she bonded with a tree and was getting married or something was happening and it had to happen at the tree. And there's pictures of her hugging the tree, literal tree hugger, like that whole thing. You're not hurting anybody. I don't care. If that makes you happy, and you believe that the tree is giving you energy or whatever, okay, okay. I got bigger fish to fry. I got way more important stuff going on in my life to worry about whether, you know, Muhammad's really a prophet or not. I don't care. It doesn't affect my world one way or the other. So if they think so, whatever, go for it. Susie, always be kind, Mary. That's my mantra. Um, I try. I've changed a lot since I've gotten older. I've definitely mellowed, and I really am trying, like actively trying to make my life easier and simpler. And I find that the best way to do that is to just, and I do it during Lent. So listen to this. So, being Catholic, we're supposed to give something up for Lent. And I stopped giving things up for Lent years ago. And what I do instead is I try to do something to make myself a better person. Like practice one thing. Because if you do it for 40 days, it becomes part of your life. So, like one year I said, I'm saying the rosary. What the heck? Oh, Oliver's in the litter box, scared the bejesus out of me. Whew. I said the rosary 5 days a week, Monday through Friday during Lent. And then it becomes a habit. And I think it makes me a better person, kind of grounds me in the morning, like, okay, God, whatever's out there, please prepare me for this. And I say my decade of the rosary. One year I tried to give up swearing, but I'm from New Jersey and that didn't work out so well. But I've tried like zenning a lot more, like just like deep breath and try to understand where they're coming from. And if you don't launch the first grenade, I won't. Like that's my new thing is I'm trying not to launch the first grenade. I'm trying to just let it go. And it's really, I have to tell you, I've heard it all along and I was like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." It actually really kind of works. I highly recommend just saying, you know what, fine, they're at the door. Steve says, answer the door naked, they leave. I don't want to mentally scar a child. I wouldn't do that. Um, I just when they come to the door to give me their pamphlet, thank you very much, whatever, and have a great day. Do you want some water? Why not? Just makes my life easier. Rebecca, maybe I should move to the middle of an American Muslim city and open a deli that sells ham sandwiches. Yeah, good luck with that. Art says Mormons believe in magic underwear. That is some wild stuff. Many deny it, but I had one admit to me that it's true. Okay, if it works for 'em. Let me tell you though, Art, you've never had like lucky underwear or a lucky shirt. I know people. When Villanova was in the NCAAs in 2016 and 2018, I had to wear the exact same outfit for every game once they started winning. They won that first game. I had to wear the exact same shirt, the exact same underwear, the exact same socks, the exact same everything for the next game. And they won the whole thing. And I did it for every single game. So I had lucky underwear too. I mean, when you think about it, I heard that, but I don't know. I guess it's true. And I don't know why it's lucky, but if it works for them, more magic. Theirs is magical. Mine was lucky. Let's see. Mayor Johnson doesn't care at all. He's protected by 150 off. Get out. Mayor Johnson from Chicago has 150 officer security detail. Get that hell out of here. Really? Can you imagine being on that detail as a cop? You must hate it. Greg, I used to ask them what part of no trespassing don't you understand? So I actually was being nice. That's not nice. That's not nice at all. Maybe you should ask Ben Dieter back to discuss what's going on in DC. Regarding what? I mean, DC is a disaster. Regarding what? Anything specific? Ranger, she said she may have startled him. How about if somebody startled somebody and did the same? Right, that's what they said. They said that, well, she may have startled him. Bottom line, he's in the country illegally, number one, and he shouldn't have a gun. That is illegal, number two, right? We're all about gun laws. Okay, people can't be having guns. He was just exercising his Second Amendment rights. You people are, oh, wait, he's not supposed to have Second Amendment rights. Look at that. Yeah, that was insulting too. I'm so glad you brought that up, Ranger. That really was. Illinois has strict gun laws. They only affect law-abiding citizens, not criminals. Yep. Manglemush, not sure I have my U.S. Air Force. He's all ready to go. Subscribe. Yes, please subscribe, please. How are the Hawaiian wildfires going? That's a great question, Manglemush. You guys are the producers. I like this. We're talking about stuff that you would always talk about, like you don't see all over television and stuff and radio. How are the Hawaiian wildfires going? I don't know. Are they buying up that property? I don't know. Hawaii wildfires property. Let's see what we get with that. The prices of burned down Lahaina real estate market slow as few wildfire victims sell. Looters and land speculators move in. Offers to buy land after Lahaina wildfire in Maui under investigation. That's 2023. Holy Christmas. Can't believe it's been that long. I bet you there's been like no houses. There's been one built in Colorado for the Pacific, in California from the Pacific Palisades fire. That's a great question. That's a really good question. The queen needs coffee. No, she does. I have 1 cup a day, but I'm that person that can drink coffee sitting in bed and fall right asleep. It does. So it's a blessing and a curse because if I need something to wake up, caffeine doesn't do it for me. Doesn't do it for me at all. Like I said, my parents used to sit watching the nightly news at 11 o'clock. And I remember my mother would sit on the couch. My father would sit in his chair. Every dad had a chair, right? My dad would sit in his chair and they had their white saucers with their little white coffee. And they weren't mugs. They were just cups of coffee with their, I guess it was Folgers or something that just put it, the freeze dried stuff and you put the water on it, sit there. And they would sit there sipping it, telling me to go to bed. Before they went to bed. And I had no idea that that was weird to drink coffee watching the 11 o'clock news, or 10 o'clock news, whatever. I had no idea that that was like a weird thing to do, but they did. And I think I inherited that coffee doesn't affect me at all. Gene. The IT department, on the other hand, we have to make a pot of half decaf on the weekends because he sweats and his stomach bothers him and everything. And I'm like, just make a cup for yourself. But he doesn't. Here's another topic. Sober 297 says, well, how about Governor Mikey in a hijab for Eid? Yeah. Cultural appropriation is sometimes okay, huh? I saw that. I'm like, whatever. I don't even know what she does. I don't know what qualifies her for anything. I am praying that these next 4 years just fly by with her and we get to the other side in one piece. Sue's exactly, Star Driver. They're making felons out of law-abiding citizens. Exactly. Excuse me. They're protecting the illegals. That's all it's about. It's about protecting the illegals, and you got to wonder why. Why are they so hell-bent on protecting the illegals? It doesn't make any sense to me. Revealing clothing for Islamists seems to be a reason why she deserved it. Anyone? D-Man, way to go. Come on, people. 27 here, only 1 thumbs up. Just close the chat and hit the thumbs up. Then you can come back. Or do it at the end of the damn chat. I think you can do it at the end. I'm not sure. Thank you. The lakefront parks close at 11. They were on the pier at 1 a.m. The penalty for these things shouldn't be death, but the victim does bear some responsibility. Yeah, 100%. But again, it should be a ticket. They were out watching some meteor showers or something. Yeah, and she's a freshman in college. We were all sorts of places we weren't supposed to be at 11 o'clock at night. But you're right. The penalty shouldn't be death. The penalty is getting caught and getting reprimanded 9 times out of 10, or, you got written a ticket, which where I grew up, that never happened because we didn't have any cops. So like I said, it was a very rural area and the state police would patrol our area twice a year. That was it. So it was a little different upbringing. Cindy, do you think the self-harm living fireworks know that all the components for their tools contain gelatin and glycerin, which are from pigs, and when embedded in their bodies keeps them from Allah? Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know it contained gelatin and glycerin, which is made from pigs. Oh, I have to remember that. I'm going to ask somebody that if I get a chance. Super interesting, Cindy. Porchview says her husband's mother, so her mother-in-law, thinks U.S. citizens are being arrested, put into concentration camps, and sent to prison overseas. It was an insane weekend. And her brother-in-law is running for Congress in Arizona. So did she think that ICE is arresting US citizens and putting them in concentration camps? Did she have any examples of this? And why are they staying in your house for a weekend? Like, that just wouldn't happen here. I'd be like, "Oh, there's a hotel down the street. I booked your room." And is he super liberal if he's running for Congress in Arizona? Is that what I think is happening? Suze used to love Tucker. Joseph said, "I never trusted Tucker, and I caught so much flack from my social media friends." Beck's out. She's gonna listen to the rest when she gets home. Love you, Beck. Thank you so much for joining us from down under. Thank you. Joe said it was pure Spidey sense. Mangle says, same boat, never trusted him. Hermit Sal, I hate to say this, but maybe Chicago Dems think that the 18-year-old girl is a political sacrifice needed to protect such murderers for future votes if illegals get to vote. I wouldn't put it past them. I seriously wouldn't. All right, we're getting to wrap up time. And I had one question I want to ask and didn't get to do it. Same, I started to like Tucker, then he jumped on the crazy bus. And that was, Joseph, that was somebody's daughter, for crying out loud. Exactly. My God. How do you not listen? When Trump said the whole, I'm glad Mueller's dead, I was like, ooh, I went, oh, damn it, cringe. Why? But he never said, I just don't think it was taken to the point of what they dished out for Charlie. And I'm at that point where I'm sick and tired of being held to a higher standard. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. And I learned from them what the bar is for celebrating someone's death. And I don't think Trump celebrated Mueller's death. He said, I'm glad he's gone. But I don't think he celebrated it. But who was it? It was Clarence Darrow, who said, I've never wanted to see anyone murder someone, but I've never wanted to see anyone murdered, but I have read some obituaries with glee. And I think that that's true. I think we all know somebody that if we read that they, met their demise, we'd be like, good. There's in the South, they say that boy needed hanging or that boy needed killing. I think that it's human nature when someone has done you wrong. And think about what Mueller did. Mueller bankrupted several people with this fake investigation. It was fake. It was a drummed up fake. And they used our tax dollars to do it. Tens of millions of our tax dollars to run this fake hoax. He bankrupted people. He destroyed, Flynn was destroyed. People were destroyed. There's a guy who committed suicide because of what Mueller did to him, right? He got caught up in this whole thing. There's a woman, the Russian woman, who said her life was ruined because it was said that she met Don Jr. Remember that whole thing? And she said, they used me and my name as a basis for saying that there was Russian interference and I was used as the proof and I did nothing wrong. Her life was ruined. Look what they did to what Mueller did to Trump and Trump's family. Like when you go after someone's family, geez. I think when you go after someone's family, all bets are off. Yeah, I'm glad to see him go. I don't begrudge Trump that. I don't love it. But I get it. And if I put myself in his shoes, he tried to ruin Trump's family. And I think when you do that, there's a special place in hell for you. And I think that the people have a right to say, good, glad you're gone. He's glad he's gone. There's a lot of people who are glad Mueller's gone. And I know people are really harsh on Trump. Stop holding Republicans to a different standard than you hold Democrats. Stop it. It's not right. Let's see. I think Tucker is back to drinking. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. The free market in New York lasted less than a week and it was closed. I did not know that. I didn't know that. It closed down. How come? Why did it close down? Back home, there were Wiccans who worshiped nature and a male and female god. They did not pull the crap that we see today. Well, whatever. Yeah. Let's see. I'm just trying to guess. You guys are so funny. I can't read everything though. Let's see. What does Oliver think about what's going on? Ollie Bobby, do you want to come over here? Come here. Do you want to come here and say hello to everybody? Yeah. Oh, you meowed. Okay. No. Oh my gosh, he just turned he meowed at me and turned his back. So he does not want to talk to you. I'm sorry. We always struggle with kindness. I fail a ton. My mantra is kindness. I try. I, especially like older people, we're all going to be there someday. And I know it's super easy to get annoyed with them, like in the grocery store where they're trying to like, they get the wallet out afterwards. I'm like, oh my gosh, did you not know you were going to have to pay? Like, ugh. But I'm like, all right, I'm going to be there Sunday. Oh, speaking of which, let me tell you very quickly. I'll try to get to all the rest of your comments, but I saw um the sweetest lady in the grocery store, and she was dressed up. Come on. She was dressed up beautifully, and you could tell it was like her outing. Like, this is what she did. She probably was a widow, and she was dressed so beautifully to go out. And I thought, man, what a contrast to the people who show up in pants like these, like my flannel, my fleece pants that I wear in the house, but I don't wear outside. But a lot of people do wear outside. A lot of people do wear them out all the way. And boy, what a contrast. It was so nice to see her. But, a little part of me also felt sad, but I made a point to tell her that she looked beautiful. I'm like, I told her she made my day. And it was so nice to see someone dressed so nice. And she just had a big grin on her face. But something like that takes 2 seconds of your time. More people should do it. It made her day to see that. Um, all right, very quickly. I pray with the rosary blessed by Saint Pope JP2 a year before he died. I hold it dear to me. How wonderful. That's wonderful. What a blessing. That's fantastic. We got rosaries in Jerusalem when we were there in the obviously the Catholic quarter. And they have a little bit of some soil. I kept saying dirt. My husband's like, it's not dirt, it's soil. Don't say dirt. Because we brought them back for people. People asked us to bring back rosaries. And they're not blessed, but because there was no one there when we were there, we went into the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and you can go up to where Jesus was, they believe, St. Helen, built a church around it, the place where Jesus was crucified, um, in the Gethsemane, right? The rock. And no, that was the Garden of Gethsemane. Never mind. But anyway, where he was crucified, the rock, and they have a little thing there, and you have to go under, and you can see like the rock, and you can see, you can't really touch it or anything, and it's there. And we took the rosaries and we put them on that place because I figured, well, that's pretty holy, right? And then we put them out where the anointing stone, when you first walk into the church, the anointing stone is there, and that's where, when they took him down from the cross, Jesus's body was laid. And so we had the time, because this was after the week of Newsmax, my husband came, and we put the rosaries on the anointing stone. And then we went into the tomb, and that's the Armenian. I think it's the Armenians and Greeks. They are tough. The priest who stands at that door was a bouncer at Studio 54 back in the day. He was crazy. Very strict. Like, one guy had shorts on. Poor Jewish guy wanted to get in there, and he had shorts on, and he couldn't go in because his knees were showing. I'm like, now you know how we feel, dude. So they have a dress code and they enforce it, but he wasn't there because there was nobody there. So we walked in and had the time. We got to go inside where the stone is, where Jesus was laid in the burial tomb. Lazarus, what's his name? Joseph of Arimathea's tomb, and we got to put them there. So I'm like, I think that's pretty good. So if somebody wants it blessed, they can take it to their priest. But nothing like JP2. That's amazing. Yeah, Catholic guilt has worked wonders on us. Absolutely. Yeah. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Catholic. Uh-oh, Susan Joe getting into it. Um, Regarding how DC is deteriorating. Although I think DC is actually coming back because they cleaned up a lot of the stuff in DC now, and it's kind of safe again, Hermit. But I can ask Ben. Okay. It's freeing to say it's all okay, whatever floats your boat, as long as it's not illegal. I told my kids, does it affect my eternity? If not, no biggie. It's so true. It's so true. And I've kind of always been that way. I've kind of always been one of these whatever type of people, like when it came to gay marriage, when nobody was allowed, you to say, oh, I can't get married. I'm like, if the two men who live next door to me get married, does my world change? No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. So how about it, boys? I don't care. I've got so many problems going. I've got so many things in my own life. I just don't have time to worry about everybody else's salvation. You know? If it's God finds it to be unholy and it's a sin and blah 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 blah, well, that's on them. It's not going to affect my place in line, you know? I think the massive flooding they have experienced in Oahu put out all the fires. That's been really, really bad. Ben can discuss how DC is deteriorating. Yes, we still have the rosary said every day at noon on our radio station. Get out. Is it a Catholic station? IT. Is it a Catholic station? Golgotha. Thank you so much. No, come here. Do you have to show your face? Oh my, could you have another sweatshirt you could wear? Because you have been on the air 3 times. This will be the 3rd time with the same sweatshirt on.
I'm doing work.
Okay. Oh, because he's doing work. It's his work sweatshirt. Just come say hello.
That's right.
Hello. There you go, Art. There he is. Did you say hi, Art?
Oh, no, I didn't. Hi, Art.
There you go. Hi, Art. You got your shout out.
Did you say I sent you a text before?
Oh, no, my phone's off. You sent me a text. Oh, I was in the midst. ITG in the house.
When I got home.
That was him. Remember I said there was a car in the driveway? I'm like, oh, if it ends up on forensic files, you guys can all tell him about it. It was the ITG. All right, we're wrapping it up here. I like coffee when I travel because it helps me sleep. See? Yes. Cindy, do you also have like a problem with resistance to like drugs when they put you out when you have a procedure? I do. Like it does not affect me. And painkillers like they give you like oxy and stuff like that, nothing. I don't even get the prescriptions filled. I'm like, it's not going to do anything for me. It has no effect on me. To get into an MRI, I climbed out of an MRI once with 3 Valium in me. Climbed right out, and they were like, wow, we've never seen that before. I'm like, I can drive home. I's fine. Do you have the same problem? Like, I think we have some like weird chemistry in our body that the stimulants just don't work on us, and neither do the anti-stimulants, the depressants. I don't know, whatever the ones that are supposed to calm everything down. For like, I had an upper GI once, and I know the guy, and Doug was in, the ITG was in the room with me, talking to the guy who was doing it because they all know each other, and I was in on the conversation, and he looked at me, he goes, "Stop fighting, stop fighting." I'm like, "What are you doing?" "Stop fighting the drugs." I'm like, "I'm not fighting the drugs." And we're having a conversation. He goes, "I've given you enough Demerol to put down a horse." And I said, "Well, apparently not, because still here." So I wonder if that's like a weird thing we have. Smokey too. I do the same thing. I drink a 20-ounce cup before bed. I don't do that because and then I got to get up and pee in the middle of the night. Ron, I also have that coffee has no effect gene. But very quickly before we go, you guys, do you have that, the like anesthesia and painkiller drugs have no effect on you too? Honestly, the one thing that really works on me is IV morphine, but I've only had that once and that was awesome. But they don't give you that when you go home from a same day procedure. I hate oxy. I don't take it. I just don't take most of the drugs they give me. They just don't do anything. I'm curious if you guys have the same gene. True, Mary at 18, you might not see me for a week. What does that mean? What does that mean, Mangle? Oh yeah. Rebecca was over on Rumble. I love her for that. And she came over to say hello to everyone. I don't even know what that means, Sim. When he talked about Mueller, I was still cringing from the Pearl Harbor remark. They loved it. They loved it. I read a piece about it afterwards. They loved it because the Japanese have always felt guilty for 80 years. Whenever they come to America, when they come in contact with Americans, they always feel guilty. Now they don't have to feel guilty anymore. Like the ice was broken. Trump made a joke about it, and so they felt relief. So I think we cringed. They did not. I didn't like Trump saying that. He should have just gave him condolences to the family and the people that loved him. Dance a jig in private for all who I care, but it was in poor taste. Yes. However, his friend, Charlie Kirk, was assassinated And they danced in glee and they were horrible, horrible people. And they didn't apologize when called out for it. They shoved it in our faces. So, you know what? I am sick and tired of being held to a higher standard. I give what I get. I'm sorry. I'm kind, but do not mistake my kindness for weakness. And if you give me crap, I am handing it right back to you. That's it. You mock me, you mock someone that I love, like Trump loved Charlie. You mock my friend that I love, you mock his assassination. Oh, hell, it's coming right back at you. And you can just sit all the way down. I maybe that's a fatal flaw. Maybe that's what's going to keep me in purgatory for a while. But Andrew Weissman was the true organizer. Yes, the process was the punishment. Exactly. Exactly. See, sad to say, but Ron says, I have an old boss that I'd read his obit with a bit of glee. Yeah, I can tell you, I know somebody when they go, I'm going to be like, hey, good riddance. Sorry. He ruined many people's lives just trying to get to Trump. He absolutely did. Like I said, some poor guy committed suicide because of it. Typical cat, when you call it turns around and ignores you. Golgotha. Yes, Suze. Thank you. I just bought one of those, I guess, rosaries. Golgotha's where I was crucified. Yes. Woot to the IT guy. Wildfires were the results of a direct energy weapon, according to Sober 20. I've heard that. I have heard that. He was laid out in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Yes, that's where we were. I fell asleep in my MRI. There's something wrong with you. Ugh. It's coughing. Nope. Cindy, I don't take most of them. My last procedure, I was talking to the surgeon the whole time. Right? Right? I've woken up during surgery where I was supposed to be out, and I've woken up and they're like, oh, and I remember it. I remember what I said. I remember I was complaining that it was cold. I would not be a good drug user, illicit drug user. Scott says, I tried coffee recently before in the evening before bed. It was kind of calming. Rebecca says Tylenol doesn't do anything for her because for me, I think it's because I'm Irish. Supposedly if you have red hair, you metabolize drugs differently. Did anybody else read that? If you have red hair, I don't have red hair, which could be the Irish thing. When you were in college, you said you went places you shouldn't. Really more high school. Like we ran up the art museum steps in college at like 2:00 in the morning. That was probably very foolish at 2:00 in the morning. In high school, we used to go in farmers' fields and drink. I know. I grew up in the middle of nowhere. Friend have a pickup truck and we go sit in a farmer's field. We go drive into his field, which is probably not great, and drink. We shouldn't have been there. 100%. Yeah. Coffee clears my mind, allows me to drift off. So we stoop to the same level, Mary. Yeah, because you know what? They constantly hold us to a higher degree of behavior. And then you have things like George Santos getting kicked out of Congress on something of an allegation. And you have those guys, their guys staying in Congress, even when they've been found guilty of doing something, they still serve out their term. So they have a lower, they have higher expectations of us. We have a higher level of conduct than they do. And it benefits them. And I'm done with it. I am done with it. Mueller was trying to destroy our country, put us through hell. Yes, Asandra, you're right. Ron, Xanax did nothing for me. I had it only prescribed once. I've never had it prescribed once. Joseph is out. Good night, Joseph. We're all getting out of here. Mary, love you for your transparency. Nothing wrong with defending loved ones. Exactly. No commercial station in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Okay. Wow. You guys have been great. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, there's more comments. Irish don't take numbing very well. It may be the red hair thing. So a person should have their attorney with them after surgery. Okay. Bonfires in the woods with kegs. Yeah. I don't know if we did the fire, but definitely we had that. We would go out to a pond where when I was a real little kid. And I remember my mother would send us off with like marshmallows, and the big kids, like the 15-year-old kids, were the ones who tested the ice. And we were like 8 years old. And my mother sent us off into the woods by ourselves. Have fun. And the old kids would have beer, but they never like let us have it or anything along those lines. ITG doesn't fear MRIs. MRIs fear ITG. He does.
Damn right.
Did you hear him? He just said damn right and walked away. He does fall asleep in them. The color of your earwax says something about drug reaction rates. Get the hell out of here. No, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre was not hit. It's in, I would have heard about that. I have friends in Israel. I didn't hear a thing about that. Rebecca says, have a blessed evening. Steve says he loves my honesty. Yep, at the pond. Yep, exactly. Those were the good old days. Now, can you imagine that now? Oh my God, I'm so old. Thank you so much. This is so much fun. You guys are great producers. You're fantastic. Hermit Sal says, I keep myself to a lower standard to aggravate them. There you go. So thank you so much. Like I said, I appreciate each and every one of you. Please like the podcast, please. That would be great. Thumbs up, not that hard. Please follow if you have not done so. And tell your friends and catch it. I will be on Todd Starnes' show, radio show, noon to 3 on and it's the Mighty 990 KWAM out of Memphis from noon to 3. And then Eastern time, and then 9 p.m. to midnight on Sirius Patriot XM, Stacey Washington show, XM Patriot channel. And then also back on Patriot, 9 to midnight on Friday night. So I'm doing that as well. All right. And have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Love you all. Bye.